Oh my goodness, I should probably... No, wait, I'm not even using this right now. Well, hello. I don't know how to start this off because if I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even planning to do something like this. So, European vacations. I know a thing or two about them. I know it's kind of like a thing or like a trend, if you will, for a lot of the girlies to be going on their cute little European vacation since, you know, it's summer. Gotta have that hot European summer, I guess. I don't know. I didn't even go in the summer. I'm so relatable. But I went to the Netherlands for 2 weeks. So I thought I would talk about that while trying to draw one of the pictures that I took while I was over there. Look at how pretty. Oh my goodness. I'll probably just show it on the screen. To anyone who doesn't know where that is, it's kind of by the city center in, pardon me if I pronounce this incorrectly, but Groningen? Groningen? Am I supposed to pronounce the second G like a G, or am I supposed to do the guttural sound? That's a great question that someone's probably going to correct me about. I hope. So I'm going to talk about my 2-week travel while attempting to draw this. Here, let me make sure this is on. Okay, I think it's on. We even have a cool second camera. Ooh, so cool. Let me talk about my 2-week vacation. So, long story short, last year I was expecting to start school in the Netherlands in the fall, but obviously that fell through because I am currently in America and it's 2023. Whoop-de-doo. Long story short, I just didn't necessarily have the money to do so even after working for over a year, which kind of frustrated me if I'm going to be honest here. And that's besides the point. So me being the sad, depressed person that I was, decided to have like a little impulsive impromptu vacation. Yeah, so I went like pretty much, I think I visited almost every province in the Netherlands minus Zuid-Holland and Zeeland. Oh wait, and Friesland? I basically visited everywhere. I was not like one of the girlies and only acknowledged Amsterdam or Rotterdam. Honestly, you should be thankful for that. Probably my favorite part is like the part that I'm drawing right now, which, fun fact, was actually like the first portion of my trip. Wow, look at all these blocks. They're so cool. Can you even see this on the camera? Oh my god, you can't. You just saw my phone password. Hopefully none of you guys ever come in contact with my phone because geez, man. Yeah. Oh my god, there's another smaller builder. This is just a thumbnail, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to block out everything, as one does. So the first part of my trip was actually, so if you were unaware of the nightmare that was Schiphol Airport in the summer, you're privileged, I guess, but because of that nightmare, for my first night I stayed in Hoofddorp, which is a smaller like city, I guess. I don't know. It's technically it's also called village in Dutch, but that's where I stayed. Honestly, probably recommend it if you're coming in and you need a place to stay, either before you go to the airport or after, because it's literally 2 stops away from the airport. Like, it was like maybe a 10-minute like train ride. So for the first night, I kind of just messed around in Hoofddorp, and I tried the bus system out. That sounds weird, but where I'm at, there is no bus system. So I got to have a little taste of public transit, and apparently there was another American on the bus. And the reason why I know they were American was because, long story short, Miss Ma'am missed her stop. She pressed the button that's meant to stop. Okay. And the bus driver was asking her in Dutch, like, "Hey, yo, did you miss your stop?" And then her response was, "Speak English." That was kind of cringe, if I'm going to be honest here. I understand why people are not a fan of tourists, honestly. But it's like, as someone with anxiety, you know, that being a pain in my bum, how can you just walk around acting like that? That's my question here. Yeah, so I stayed in Hoofddorp, and then I took a Flixbus, whatever it's called. I took that over to Groningen, where I'm drawing this. Okay, I took a bus. I did not expect it to be full. I mean, granted, I didn't pay extra to reserve my seat, which I feel like it's just something that everyone does, I guess. But yeah, everywhere I was over in the Netherlands for 2 weeks, so everywhere that I was staying, it was like, I think it ended up being about 3 nights each, with the exception of when I was staying in Muidenberg. That I stayed for 2 nights, and then I anxiously booked a night at Schiphol Airport for the last one, and I felt bad, but yeah, I stayed for 3 nights in each area. Yeah. Oh my god, you can't see this on here, but I haven't touched like artist materials in so long. Girl, I should just be an artist. Anywho, stayed in this city for about 3 nights. Honestly, favorite part of the trip, I think I already said that, but in case you needed that again, it was my favorite part, probably because of, I really liked how it was, like, for lack of better words, you know how whenever people go to Amsterdam, it's always like the same, like, it was very much Dutch city vibes, okay? Like old Dutch city vibes, not the new stuff, the old one. But without a lot of people, and I don't think a lot of tourists go over there. So I had the glory of doing this all by myself. Well, I was traveling all by myself. Of course I did this all by myself. But you know, it wasn't like full of tourists, which is weird for me to say considering that I would have been considered a tourist. But just like a lot of the interactions that I've witnessed tourists do, some of the interactions that I've had with tourists made me feel icky. Like, you guys aren't socially aware, I guess. Ick. Yes, I am a pick-me, thank you very little. But I don't know, it's just like the way that people interacted with the city was a lot nicer, I guess. Wow, it's almost like there's actual people living there or something. Shock, I know. Anywho. That's good. Yeah, so I stayed in Groningen, that one, for 3 nights. And this is my first time staying by myself anywhere. So you could probably imagine how jumpy I was for the first few nights. Especially how I think for, like, the second night that I was there was a soccer game going on. And the people were rowdy, I will tell you that. I know football or soccer, as we Americans like to call it, is a big thing over there, you know. But I was not expecting to see, like, people cleaning up glass the next morning. And that kind of freaked me out, I guess, to a degree. But at the same time, I feel like that would freak anyone out, right? What I did was I went to the museum. That was fun. I got to be in the same presence of... Oh wait, wrong side. This magnificent piece of art. What else? I also got to see Winstown. I most definitely pronounced that wrong. But essentially, it was Prince Garden, whatever. I assumed it was probably, like, belonged to whoever the frick was, like, royalty of the area. Which, you know what? That's cool. But yeah, I love taking pictures of flowers, so that's what I spent my time doing there. I also walked around to a nearby city park, and for every morning, for the 3 mornings I was there, I woke up, got a little cute chai latte, and then sat in the park and drank it. It was amazing. I do have to say so myself. And I'll probably, you know what, I won't get to keep the hotel I was at, but yeah, this was the hotel that I stayed at. It was actually pretty nice. It did have 3.5-star reviews, but I was like, you know what, I'm getting this for like 90 buckaroos a night. I'm not going to complain that much. And it was actually really nice. Probably, with the exception of the airport hotel, nicest place that I stayed at easily. And had a whole like little like kitchenette in there. It had yeah, it was really just like a room with a kitchenette and a bathroom thing. But it was really nice. I do have to tell you that. I know it's not necessarily like the typical like European summer experience, whatever, for you to be staying at a hotel instead of like hostels and whatnot and go backpacking. I was essentially living out of my backpack. However, with this little thing called celiac disease, I could be on vacation, but my chronic illness, however, could not. She wasn't able to get any time off apparently. So, to help avoid any sort of like reaction abroad, I stayed at hotels and at least made sure that. Do I have the TikTok? Maybe I should move my phone for a second. But yeah. That was a distraction. Now I'm a blank slate. Oh yeah, I was talking about hotel rooms. So yeah, overall it was really nice. The people there were also really nice and gave me a lot of nice, cute little suggestions, and they came with a tourist book, which I think I still have. Oh my goodness. Ah! You know what? We're turning the camera off for a second. Oh my god. It even came with this cute little city guide that, yes, I did take from my hotel room. But yeah, I gave you a lot of suggestions, including like where to eat. This was where I went, okay? Oh wait, this is a completely different day. But I went to the Petersburg Zentrum, and let me tell you, I actually didn't go. I've been following them on TikTok for at least a year now, okay? I'm a little obsessed with what they do. I love the seals. They're very cute. But so I got a ticket that was a joint ticket that was like they also had some sort of partnership with a smaller zoo in the area. Wait, I should probably clean this up. But so I got that, and I decided to go to the zoo first, then the Seehundencentrum, and then that's my passport. VPN, I need you to stay on, girly. Essentially, I got a joint ticket to a zoo. I went to the zoo, and apparently with the smaller bus systems, they have a button for you to press for the bus to stop, because you know it doesn't stop at every bus stop. Instead, she just keeps on chugging along, and I didn't learn that or realize that. So I basically walked for 4 hours in the rain, and I was like, you know what, it seems to be a non-profit organization. They can take my money. Yeah. But if I didn't go to the zoo first, then I would have never seen this amazing red panda taxidermy. Honestly, that was probably the highlight of the day, and I was soaked by the time I came back to my hotel, and I might have cried a little. That's besides the point. Goodness gracious, that was an emotional roller coaster. Okay. Is there anything else I'm trying to think about when I'm talking about this city? Oh, at one point I was trying to see like the coast to the North Sea, and I couldn't because of train strikes. That was fun. A little bummed out that I wasn't able to see the ocean. Ugh, how could I? Anywho, my next stop was Zwolle, I believe it's pronounced. I don't know. I used to pronounce it as Zwolle, but I got corrected, I guess. Anywho, you know what? Who needs to do these boring colors? I want to do periwinkle and green. I could probably figure something out. Wait, I might need my light for that. Yeah. Okay. Next stop was Zwolle, and let me tell you, it is a fun and dandy place to be. I was stopping by a friend's place. That was such a weird way to say friend. But I was stopping by an online friend's place, and he had a cat. Well, he has a cat. Last I checked, the cat's still alive. But cat very cute. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted-roomy because I'm trying to figure out my color palette. Anywho. Oh my goodness, there's foliage. I forgot the foliage. So glad we got that one out of the way. Anywho. Sevilla is a cool place. I, again, stayed there for 3 nights. Probably. So the thing is that it rained pretty much the entire time that I was there. And, it like, granted, it sucked. Like, I wanted to do outdoor stuff, and, if I remember correctly, one of the places that, we were planning to stop by was, like, an abandoned, like, dike or dam, something like that. We were planning on going over there, but we couldn't because it rained, so instead we just spent a whole lot of time in museums, and at one point I kind of ditched my friend to walk around the city. Overall, a very nice, cute city. I guess I'm not using this one. Would I go there again? Absolutely. But, oh, we got to see one of the gates, and go inside the tower. That was cool. If I remember correctly, they call their gates ports, but then they're like what we would call an English port, they call a haven. So it's a little bit of a linguistic conundrum there, but we got to see one of those. We got to see, like some of like the archaeologic finds of the city. That was cool. I think those were the main things that we did. And then from there, I went to Almere, and let me tell you, it was not necessarily a vibe. With peace and love. Like, I know, like, I feel like it's one of those things where you either love it or you hate it. And with peace and love, it was not it. I think this is just coming from me, someone who's from, like, what would be described as, like, not Midwestern, as, suburban wasteland. Like, if I were to ever disclose to you where I live, like, that is the most appropriate way to describe where I live. Yeah, it was giving off those vibes, and I was not a huge fan of it. And granted, I feel like a lot of it was more in the lines of because the city was like founded and developed in the 70s, you know, the time where a whole bunch of people thought, you know, it would be hip and cool if we just developed all of our cities surrounded by cars. Yeah. No. Sorry, I'm concentrating a lot with drawing. But I essentially was there to do a lot of nature stuff, since there's like quite a few like nature parks nearby. And one day I went to Utrecht for the day. That was kind of fun. It was very much a vibe of the city. Now, granted, I don't think I escaped much outside of the city center because my phone was dying on me. But outside of that, it was pretty cool. Anywho, back to the nature park. I went to a nature park, okay? And I kind of got lost halfway through. And the thing was this was on the morning of my birthday. I woke up, I couldn't fall asleep, and I'm like, you know what? What would be like the best idea of what I could do right now is going to walk to like the like sea. Like, there's a lake, I guess, in Almere. That's not where I was going. I was going across to like the nature reserve. I'm like, you know what? It's 3 a.m. I can make it there by sunrise. I did not make it there by sunrise. Instead, I was stuck in the middle of nowhere, kind of crying and walking around in circles. So, note to self, don't go for a sunrise hike without a plan, I guess. Yeah. I did find my way back though, just in time for me to realize how alone I was on my birthday, you know. Impeccable timing on my part. But eh, eh, eh. Leaves. Is this even recording? Great, it's recording. I would have been so upset if this was not recording. But yeah. I did walk around to like the different parts of the city cuz where I was staying at specifically, it was called, like, the train station was called Amara Belton, and then there's like Amara Central. Yeah. All right, so up next was Magdeburg, and I was planning on staying there, and then instead of just going to and like staying in Amsterdam, I was going to travel from there to Amsterdam. And honestly, I did for a day, and then I rage quit. I don't. It's like. Anyhow, the day that I did spend in Amsterdam specifically, the way that a lot of tourists were interacting with it was not the vibe, if I'm going to be honest here. Like, I saw a lady, like, kick a bunch of trash in front of a trash can. She was giving, like, a bombastic side eye when I was picking up the trash for her. So, you know, I'm a little responsible, believe it or not. Shoot, what was I going to talk about? But yeah, I had a lady kick trash in front of me and then give me like a really disgusting look when I was throwing it out for her, like, Miss Ma'am, I'm doing you a solid. And granted, this was an older lady, so who knows, maybe she had like mobility issues with like trying to bend down and pick it up, but I would much rather her like say it, you know, like if she were to be like just walk up to me and be like, excuse me, do you mind doing me a solid and picking up the trash for me, because I can't necessarily bend down and pick it up. You know what, maybe then I wouldn't have been mad at her. But yeah, I was mad at her, to say the least. And like part of it still infuriates me, because it's like, you guys paid hundreds if not thousands of dollars to ship yourselves off to a foreign country, and you're not going to necessarily like respect the people there. You're not going to shoot, what are the words I'm thinking of right now? Like, you're not going to like respect it. You're not going to like treat the locals there with respect. You're just going to kind of like trash everywhere you go, and like get upset whenever people like have issues with that. Like, that does not sound cool. I'm good, thanks, chief. Sorry, I'm just getting really distracted here. Yeah, it was a really pretty city. I had some gluten-free stroopwafels, and is it stroopwafels or is it stroopwafels? I had a You know what? I'll probably get harassed for it in the comments. It's okay. We'll just go with it. Anywho. Yeah, I was not a fan of how people were interacting with Amsterdam with peace and love. So I walked around, went to the red district, saw what I needed to saw, and then peaced out. Not that, you know, like, the cultural capital of the Netherlands should really be boiled down to a bunch of, like, what is essentially, like, like, everyone knows what happens in the red district. Like, not that Amsterdam should be boiled down to that. It was just, like, I was kind of sick of the way that, like, some of the people there were interacting with me. So I just went there and peaced out. And then for my last night of my little terror of rain in the Netherlands, went I was staying at Schiphol Airport, and I got really like I had a lot of adult grape juice, if you know what I mean, and I was making fun of like this Dutch like game show thing where I don't even know what it was. I just remember there was a bunch of singing in it, and at one point they were like trying to do motions, so then whoever the heck was guessing the word would get it, and they were like trying to like do like if the person could lip read, they were trying to do that. It was all just like kind of a fever dream to watch. Also, something that I learned is, you know, America's Funniest Home Videos. So essentially, they have a Dutch version of that, which, you know, not necessarily shocked by that because, you know, I think it's like owned by ABC or whatnot. So, you know, it's going to be everywhere, I guess. But they have like this Dutch person, this very nice Dutch lady. She's doing like an introduction to the video, and then the video happens, and you just hear Alfonso. So you could probably guess how, like, watching that while having a lot of adult grape juice could have been a little trippy, if you know what I mean. But my my reign of terror, like it was going a little too smooth. So, you know, on the day that I was leaving, all hell had to go loose. So I lost my wallet at the hotel at the airport. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't necessarily need anything in there. It was just like my debit card and like some cash was in there and my ID. But I guess I don't need that stuff technically. Anywho, I had something go wrong with printing out my boarding ticket, which looking back, I think it had to do with me trying to like with freaking out about how like Schiphol Airport's security lines have been, especially with the day that I came into the Netherlands. Like you could see the security line stretching like outside. So, you know, me being a little scared of Rooney, I did what the instructions told me not to do and tried checking and going through security over 3 hours in advance. So I think that was why that happened. But before me, there was this older lady being really mean to the lady at the help desk. And when she was going on to me, she was frustrated. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then I broke down and cried, not because of like my interaction with the lady at the desk. Like she was she was stressed. I get it. It was really just like everything going on that day. I freaked out. And then I had an 8-hour flight home. And I think I was sitting next to this Swedish man. And he was flying over to, like, I don't know if Detroit was like his final stop or if like he had to do multiple stops. But he was flying over there to do some presentation on salt. So I would be asleep, and then I wake up and look over to find him doing like practicing his presentation on salt. Yeah. Oh, and at one point, when I was asleep, they were passing out water bottles, and this man was very kind enough to save me one. But what he did was he had the water bottle, okay, and he was just like nudging me with it to wake me up. I was like, sir, like what the hell? I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll look back on my flight home and be like, man, that flight was kind of a fever dream, if I'm going to be honest here. That looks good enough. So, you know, I got picked up at the airport, and, you know, my shenanigans were done and over with. My reign of terror, done, I guess. Yeah. So that was my trip. What would I recommend for any of the girlies going to Europe this summer or in general? Why am I saying Europe? Like, I just went to the Netherlands. So what I would recommend to you is make sure you don't lose your wallet like I did. How that's a great first step there. Wait a minute. What the heck is this proportioning? I'll just need to do the door underneath it. Anyhow, shoot, what was I even talking about? Sorry, I keep on getting distracted. What would I recommend for the girlies who are going to the Netherlands? One, make sure you have cash on you at all times, because fun fact, some places do not take Visa, and yeah. Here's the thing though, it's pretty hit or miss on whether or not they take Visa. So I would just suggest you just always have cash on you, and then worst case you take the L and you go over to the money checkout, I guess. I don't, yeah. Wait, I think there was some sort of change recently though, where the Netherlands specifically was changing over from whatever old system that they had with cards to now like a newer system where it would take Visa and MasterCard, if I remember correctly. I I don't know. Sometimes I follow Dutch news media, and that's what I hear. Um, oh, also another suggestion. I know, like to rent like a standard hotel room, it's like at least $270, assuming that like you don't have anything with the Sheraton, or at least like that's where I stayed at, right next to Schiphol Airport. If you're leaving, stay there or stay somewhere in Hoofddorp, because let me tell you, being able to like go there very easily, it was nice. It was a lifesaver, let me tell you that. Um, I think I can start coloring this now. Maybe I should grab a lighter gray, so then it wouldn't be so dark in the background. Yeah. That's a little too warm. I think this is more. Yeah. What else would I suggest? Don't be a bum. Like, use your common sense. And granted, like, if I remember correctly, the Netherlands has some of like the highest English proficiencies of any country in the world. So, granted, will they understand you if you were to ask something in English? Yes. However, something that I would highly suggest is you learn a little bit of Dutch. You know, remember to like say please and thank you in like formal way, so then like strangers aren't giving you a look. Remember how to say like sorry, I don't know how to speak Dutch. Can we speak English? That one was a lifesaver, because I would be like, sorry, ik spreek een beetje Nederlands. Kunnen we Engels spreken? And they were like, oh yeah, dog, we got you. I'm like, thank you, dog. Man, that is... Oh well, I guess there's no going back now. Which one was the bubblegum pig? Not that one, that's for sure. Shoot, what else am I trying to think about to recommend? Yeah, so at least learn to say like hello, goodbye, sorry, I don't speak a lot of Dutch, can we speak English? And ooh, another thing too, which is something that I didn't learn about until I was taking college course that included like some of the cultures and formalities with Germany. Not that the two countries are the same. However, something that I realized later with like what my professor was saying was in Germany they think you're weird and antisocial if you just walk into a place without saying hi to either like a store greeter, like one of the employees, or like going on public transit without saying hi to like if there's a bus driver without saying hi to the bus driver, without saying hi to like an employee that's right there that might say hi to you, like stuff like that. They think you're weird and antisocial, and that's probably why I was getting a lot of looks whenever I would be going on public transit. So please like just be like hello or hoi. I believe that one's a little bit more informal, but you get the gist of it, I guess. What else am I thinking of? Oh, also, some so with me having celiac disease, I didn't necessarily eat out a lot. However, some of the grocery stores did have like some sort of like, I don't want to say like cultural food. I guess that's like the best way to word it. But they do have some stuff there, and pretty good. I had herring mit Untjes, Oudjes, your mom tears. Those, I had those. Those were actually pretty good. It's essentially this fish thing. I think it's mainly like a fair or like a grocery market thing, but essentially it's herring that's like it's safe for you to eat, don't worry, but it's raw herring with raw onions, and the idea is that you grab it by the tail, you dip it in the onions, and then you nom nom, you know. That was good. I also had, well, obviously I have stuffed waffles. I had rosa cook. I had speculas. A lot of the stuff that I tried were desserts because that was like when I went to the grocery store, like the gluten-free section, that was mainly what was there. I want to say what I had was like pate, but I don't think it was pate. I don't remember what I had, but essentially there's this one thing where it was chicken and it was like covered with like some sort of sauce. And it tasted like it was covered with like peanut butter and curry. But I was trying this with my Dutch friend and he was like, "Hey yo, this is a very Dutch thing." So I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll try it." I was barely able to stomach through it. It was like I don't even know what it was looking back. It was just disgusting to say the least. And that was probably like the one bit of Dutch food that I did not enjoy whatsoever. I did enjoy a lot of sandwiches, which I know is like kind of like a cultural little Dutch travel thing. I think. I see a lot of people joke about it online, so I think that is the thing. Oh wait, I forgot this area down here. Also, they have a like a smaller chain there. I forgot the name of it. I'll probably have it up. But it's like D&E or something like that, and it's pretty good. It's like a fully like 110% automated Starbucks, for lack of better words, and honestly pretty bussin'. I also got to stop by some of like the fashion things in the Netherlands. More specifically, I there's this store called Sissy Boy, and let me tell you, I was very intrigued that like something in like at least an American English context like is a derogatory term towards gay men and even some trans men was used as a store name. And with that intrigued, I walked into the store, looked around, genuinely considered buying some of the clothes, even though it's like all, I don't know if fast fashion is the best word for it, but you know, it's all stuff that like is very accessible anyways. Yeah. Man, this does not look as good as the thumbnail. It's almost like I should have considered what kind of medium I was working with and remember that this kind of sucks booty in a larger format with peace and love. Also, I've had these markers for years now, and I'm kind of surprised that they haven't died on me yet. Don't mind me, I'm focusing a little too hard on this. But, nothing says Dutch brickwork more like hot pink and bubblegum pink, am I right, guys? Yeah, so would I recommend it? Absolutely. Like, I feel like at some point everyone needs to do some form of trip on their own, whether it be like just going to the next town over, going to like some sort of like very populated city in your area, or what I did where it was international travel. I would 110% recommend you do that on your own. I don't know, I feel like I was a little bit of a changed man after that. I was like, before, when I was riddled with like, I think I have an anxiety disorder. I won't be delving more into that, but long story short, I used to like be like really overwhelmed by a lot of like social circumstances, but then after like kind of throwing myself in there, why did I mention about me thinking I have an anxiety disorder? Anywho, yeah, it was helpful with me figuring out, you know, like how to do stuff by myself, especially like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a little too reliant on other people here in America just because of how overwhelmed I get in a lot of like social contexts, including like at the grocery store, if I were to go to like a library or museum, fun stuff like that. And I feel like me like kind of throwing myself in the circumstance that I would have to do it by myself, like, yeah, it was helpful. I would recommend to anyone. Man, time to work on the roof. What did I do with that? Maybe I'll just tell people that it was raining that day. Whenever they look at this drawing and be like, wow, what the heck were you on, Finn? It was raining, guys. It's the Netherlands. I don't know what else to talk about, but at the same time, I want to finish this before the end of the video. That way I can be like, oh my god, guys, look at what I did. You know what, maybe I'll do a little speed run of everything else. And then if editing Finn wants to add anything else, he can do so. Alright, I think I'll just go ahead and do a little speed runny boy, and then I'll go back and give final verdict. Yeah. Well, funny story, my memory card is now full. Wow, here's my incomplete work. Hi, yes, hello. Here's after all the watercolor pens. Ooh. Ah, I think we're gonna go in with Posca pens now. I like how most of my rant was me not even doing the first layer of it. This is going to be a pain to edit. Alright, I just went in with Posca markers, and wow, it looks different. It looks like I put acrylic marker on this, wow. Also, I realized halfway through that the shutters are technically a different shade of blue than the shingles and everything else, so that's why it looks like shit. If I'm going to be honest, it's been so long since I've drawn something, so we're just going to power through this, no matter how much I hate this. Also, I have work in 30 minutes, so let's hope I finish it before then. Yeah, psych. It's a few days later now. Yeah. I finished it, like... Ooh. Ah. Doesn't it look so nice? Here, wait, I got more to show you. And then on the next page, I decided to be egotistical and draw myself and, a bad rendition of someone who I'm friends with online. Ooh, ah. Now, I think like the main takeaway from the drawing was I was a little too ambitious considering it's been months, months I tell you, since I didn't do like a silly goofy doodle. So, I think the whole color palette thing really threw it off. Maybe I should have had like either some sort of color palette generator or like had a color wheel so then I could look up and reference everything. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my little ramble on my trip. Like, comment, subscribe, not that. Now, if you don't mind me, I'll be working on visa paperwork for the next week and a half, and hopefully everything goes through. So, bye bye.